All right, I figured out how to make Claude a much better business partner, and this works in other AIs as well. I'm just going to make it specific to Claude for this video. Using Claude this way, how I've been doing it for the last couple of months, has helped me increase my revenue probably like 40-50%. It's been a big jump. And most people are, when they're using AI, they're using it the wrong way, and it's causing them to waste a lot of time and money. And I see a lot of this frustration inside my Etsy Games community where people are talking about AI. I have a whole section in here in the classroom, AI automations for Etsy, teaching you how to automate most things in your business, social media, listing, posting, SEO, all the things. But there is a lot of frustration because people are feeling like they're getting not as good an output from the AI as they should be. So today I want to give you this strategy so that you can avoid that. So you're using AI more effectively and not wasting as much time. You get better outputs. You can then apply those outputs a lot faster and not spin your wheels. So let's dive right in and talk about this. I'm going to talk about how to use AI and Claude as the ultimate business partner. I'm going to give you the full strategy so that you guys can improve this. So what are the problems? So I just touched on this a little bit, but there's weak or wrong output. A lot of times AI comes out with outputs that's like shiny roses, and it's like, oh yeah, you can make $10,000 in 3 hours. Just do this, right? And it's not that simple, right? It's not. It wants to please the end user. That's how AI is designed. But in doing that, it gives you that false sense of, okay, here is the things that I need to do, when it's not really that simple and it's not that easy. So the other thing is it's too agreeable. It just tells you what you want to hear. I see this all the time too. Or it just flat out tells you the wrong things. It's like, yeah, sure, I can do that. And then you prompt it 10 other times, and then it actually can't do the thing that you're asking it to do. Watered down or generic answers that anyone can get. You see this a lot where it's like, okay, that's what you're giving me. What do I do with that? So here's the fix to all of that. And this really comes down to how you're using it and the different ways that you can use it. So first and foremost is pick the right model. So I think every AI out there, all the main ones, have a model that you can pick from. So if you go in to Claude, you can pick all these different models. And a lot of these are really overkill for everyday tasks. So like Opus 5, or Opus 4.8, you don't need that to write a Etsy listing description or to write an email. It's overkill. Sonnet is good for most things, and it's going to burn a lot less credits. So a lot of people are using either overkill models that's burning through their credits, or they're using too low for complex tasks. And it's going to, if you're using too low of a model, it's not going to give you the best output that it should be. So just know, is it more complex? Okay, then do another advanced model. Is it less complex? Is it for simple answers or simple writing tasks? Then you don't have to use that much of a complex model. So that'll save you a lot of money by using the right model. Number 2 is avoid diminished results. So what happens, and a lot of people don't realize this, is when you're talking to AI, and you're prompting it, it's giving you an output, you're then prompting it again, it's giving you an output, all in the same chat. Eventually, it's going to start getting diminished results, because how AI works is when you have these prompts and answers, and then you give it a new prompt, it's then going to go back and analyze all of the other prompts and answers, and then use that to give you the output. So what happens over time is the AI gets watered down and gets diminished results because there is just too much information that it's using to come up with the future outputs. So the results and the outputs diminish. So that is why you should always, for any new tasks, start with a new chat. Do not reuse the same chats because you're going to start getting weaker and weaker outputs. And I know intuitively we think, okay, if we use the same chat, it's going to have that history and it's going to know kind of what we're already talking about. And that's just not the case. You should start out fresh. It's like it's like a human. If you have too many tasks, if I tell you to do 10 things, then you're just trying to think through all those 10 things while you're doing the one thing at a time, and it's just watering it down. And you're probably gonna do all those 10 things really crappy, forget stuff. So AI is the same way. So start fresh. If you're going for a while in the chat and starting to get watered down, start a new chat. Pick up where you left off. Give it the context again, and then go from there and start fresh, and you're gonna have much better results. And you see that happen a lot, and it makes sense as to why people do it, but just know that that's why it's happening. The third thing is give it a role, right? So a lot of people make this mistake where they're not giving the AI a role. And sure, the AI will start to learn about you. You can see, all of your previous chats, it starts to learn about you, which can be good and it can be bad. Sometimes I use incognito mode when I don't want it to pull up any other previous history, because I have several businesses. So sometimes it applies what it knows about my other business to this other business. And I'm like, well, I don't want you to look at that, right? I want to start fresh, right? So sometimes incognito mode works, but when you give it a role, you tell it specifically who it to act like, right? It's like, I want you to act like a marketing expert. I want you to act like an accountant. I want you to act like the world's best lawyer. So you're already giving it context and framework. So it's going to not kind of figure out its role, figure out who it should act like. And that's going to pull that specific information to fulfill that role mixed with the context, because what comes next is the context of what you're asking it to do. And that should be as robust as possible. The more information you give it, the better the output's going to be. A lot of times we don't give it enough information. And again, sure, it's going to start to learn more about you and fill in those gaps, but it's also nice not to leave it up to chance. You want to make sure to fill in those gaps up front, so it's not having to work harder and it's not having to fill in stuff that may or may not be correct. So give it a role. That's going to help you out. The other thing is increasing the accuracy. So what you can do to increase the accuracy, and I'm going to give you a bonus here in just a second, so stay with me, but this is going to definitely help you increase your accuracy. So how do you increase? A lot of people get a weak output or an output that's not as good. So when you're giving it your prompt, right, you're asking it for something, at the end of your prompt, do this, especially for more complex tasks. Ask it this. So you can take a screenshot of this, but ask me clarifying questions until you're 95% confident you can complete this task successfully. This alone is a game changer. This will give you 1,000 times better output than what you did before. And a lot of times, if you just prompt it without this, it will still ask you questions. Claude does a really good job of this, but this is prompting it to make sure it's asking you questions, because a lot of times you're missing information in the context of your prompt is missing information. So this is going to prompt it to ask you those questions to fill in those gaps to give you a much better output, because we're just not giving enough information up front. That alone is a huge game changer to getting more accurate information, so you're not wasting time, not having to re-prompt it over and over again. So a lot of this is all about the context. So that's a game changer. And the fifth one, this is really awesome. So another way to avoid weak output is to push back. What I said earlier is AI wants to give you the shiny, rosy version. Like, sure, you can do this. Here, just do this. A, B, C, D, E. Oh, it's so easy, right? There's no problems with that. Well, push back on it, right? Use it as a sparring partner. So this is a good prompt that you can write after your output. Again, for more complex stuff, we don't want to do this for like simple things. But for more complex things, if you're trying to strategize a business idea or product idea, or a niche, any of those things, any strategy type things, this is fantastic. So here's the prompt. Now switch roles and be my sparring partner. Attack this output as if you're a skeptical expert who wants it to fail. Find the weakest claims, the unsupported assumptions, the logical gaps, the edge cases it ignores, and anything that would fall apart under real scrutiny. Don't be polite or balanced. Prioritize the problems. For each issue, tell me how serious it is and what would fix it. This is a game changer. I can assure you, if you're using this, after it prompts you, you're going to be blown away and waste so much less time, because you're going to be like, oh, and you can see it in real time. You're like, oh, it literally just told me to do steps A, B, C, D, E, made it sound like it's going to be simple. Now, when I prompt it again with the sparring partner prompt, it's like, no, don't do A, B, C, D. These are problems. Do this instead. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, well, I would have just ran and did those things. Now I know that's garbage. I'm going to do these things instead. So really, really next level. These two are game changers and will be game changers for you if you start using them this way. Now, as a bonus, I'm going to talk about a skill I created that's really freaking cool. So I created this skill. You can get this skill. It's called the council skill. I just put it in my community, and it's fantastic. So if you go into AI automations for Etsy, here is the skill. I talk about it. You can download it. But what this does, it kind of takes a lot of this legwork out of it. So basically, you can upload this skill into Claude and then just run it whenever you want to run it. And it will basically, it has 5 sub-agents. So what this skill does is there's 5 sub-agents, which are AI agents working independently. So you give it your idea or you give it your strategy, whatever you want to give it, it's going to run it by each of these sub-agents. And they're going to score it on the viability of it, find problems, issues with it. And then you're going to have a judge that's going to look at all the sub-agents score. And all this is independent. It's going to look at the sub-agents scoring and be like, hey, is this a good thing? Is this a bad thing? Or should we adjust the thing? Should we kind of make a tweak to it? So it's going to give you all of that output right away. So you're not going to have to waste the time like doing a more advanced prompt, pushing back, sparring. This is a really awesome skill, and you're going to be blown away at how easy it is to run once you create it. So like for example, if we go into Claude, let me bounce over to my Claude desktop. You're going to kind of see why this works so much better. So for example, like I did a prompt, like I'm an Etsy seller. I want to open an Etsy print-on-demand business for motivational shirts, right? It did ask me questions, and this is a very basic prompt, too basic. What stage are you at right now? I put haven't opened the shop. What kind of help would be most useful first? And I was like, general strategy overview, right? And I just said, oh, okay, understand your numbers, pick a POD supplier, nail the niche with motivational, like talking about, okay, here's the thing, here's how to nail the niche, design, listing basics, pricing formula, and then the launch sequence. Like, okay. So it's like, okay, cool. I just do these 6 steps. I can start my POD business, and I'm off to the races, right? Great. Sounds great. But it's not so great, right? So the problem is that's oversimplified, and there are problems which it's doing that basic of a niche. So if we go into co-work, I used the council skill, right? You just do the / skill, and then I did the same prompt. I'm an Etsy seller. I want to open an Etsy print-on-demand business for motivational shirts. So then what it did, it went through this whole process, and then it ran the 5 agents. Here are the 5 agents. Then it scored out each, and you can see the scores aren't good. And then it ran it by the judge, and then it gave me the verdict. So basically the verdict was, don't do this. Don't do this because this is problematic. Instead, you got to niche down. You got to do micro niches. And it told me the why it came to this decision. And it talked about the biggest risk. It talked about the biggest upside. And then it talked about the money aspect of it. The cheapest 48-hour test, like how to test this. and then reshape. What should I do? So basically it's telling me like, okay, this idea is not the worst idea, but it needs adjusted. You need to tweak this in order to make it work. So this is the thought process that it goes through. Pretty cool. And in order to run this, all I need to do is, I called it counsel. You guys can call it whatever you want, but I build it out, call it counsel. You just do counsel, and then you just do your idea. And you don't have to worry about the prompt being super advanced, right? You can put something simple because the skill does all the work for you. So you can kind of see, here's the skill it's built out. Here's all the sub agents. So it's going to go through all of this. And the difference, if you're not familiar with the skill versus a prompt, a skill is just a prompt that you save that runs over and over and over again. And you can just do the front/counsel or just say the word counsel. So I don't have to copy and paste a prompt. The skill is saved in your inventory of skills. And then you can tweak the skills too. So it's just like your database of skills that you can run over and over and over again. Very easy to use, and skills are fantastic. So, but that's even if you don't get the skill, that framework, this framework will 100% help you guys out. It'll 100%, if you're doing even these two things alone, it's going to drastically improve the results that you're getting. Hopefully you come and join me and get some of these other automations. This is just a couple bucks to join. It's not going to bankrupt you by any means. This is an investment in your business. A lot of members have been with me a long time because I'm always adding new stuff in here to help you grow your business. And I'm in here every day helping members. I'm a real person. I actually exist. I actually care. I will actually respond to your questions. So if you guys want to join me over there, it'll be a lot of fun. If not, no worries, but hopefully that helped you guys out. I'll be back soon with some more good stuff for you guys.